Welcome to another episode of Speaker Geekers Podcast. I'm stepping in for Steve today. I'm the host, the other host, Tommy T. We got Greg, and then today, special guest today. I want to do it right, so I'm gonna read this intro out like it was written. I wish I had like some like background music or something like that to just bring it in. Or something like that. But coming straight from Chicago born, Mississippi raised artist known for unique delivery, legendary performances. Over the last 8 years, not only has Jay put out an incredible body of work, but he has also racked up quite the reputation for being a groundbreaking pioneer for hip hop. His resume includes several festivals that did not feature rap before hiring him, as well as winning the Tennessee Songwriters Competition in Memphis as its first hip hop winner. Guys, I want to welcome Jay DaSkreet to Speaker Geekers Podcast, man. Right. There it is, man.
I'm gonna send you some shit for that. I'm gonna send you some shit for right there. With
there
some
we go.
And shit. I'm gonna send
Hey, man, but before we get started into the podcast, man, I want to make sure you guys go subscribe to the YouTube channel. Also, if you're listening to it through your podcast, your favorite podcast place, subscribe there as well so you hear everything that we're dropping. So, yeah, man. So how you guys doing, man?
Man, I'm great.
Yeah.
I'm great.
Good. What about you, G?
Man, I'm straight, man. I'm straight. I'm just sitting over here chilling. I ain't even ate yet, bro. I'm kind of hungry. So hopefully this job don't run super long so I can give me something to eat. But I'm straight though. I'm feeling good today.
Good, man. Good. Yeah, bro. You got to eat breakfast, man. You know.
Normally I do. Normally I get up every day and cook breakfast, bro.
Get you some oatmeal or something, man.
Hell no. I do some bacon, eggs, toast, hash browns. I do shit every day.
I like to eat.
Yes.
Every day. I'm going to eat. Yeah.
Nah, I'm feeling that, man. I feel that, man. Jay DaSkreet in the building, man.
Good.
Before we even get started with everything else, man, I want to say I appreciate you coming on to the podcast and kind of chopping it up with us about your album In Plain Sight, man. It's going to be a lot of fun and everything. But before we get to that, I want to pass the mic to G, man, so he can go ahead and talk about what's been in the speakers.
Yes, bro. We're going to get right into it, man. What's in your speakers for the week? Of course, I'm going to start it off. I'm going to kick it off. Of course, had to kick it off with some Jay DaSkreet, bro. Like, I had to go on ahead and do some digesting of In Plain Sight. Because I had heard it already, but I wanted to, listen to it and take notes while I listened to it. So I did that. I got a chance to do that. Actually, I was at work and I was supposed to be doing shit, but I was like, nah, I'm not going to take on this. And so I went ahead and listened to that. I actually listened to some Brent Faiyaz this week. I went and listened to the tape, Fuck the World. I listened to a little bit of, because Steve was talking about this artist, Tiana Major 9. He was saying, go listen to that. So I heard a little bit of her project this past week. I forgot the name of the project. Let me see what this is.
I listened to that too.
8 6s and 7s.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I had listened to that. And then I had listened to, I actually went and listened to a couple songs from Ariana Grande album because somebody told me to listen to that as well. And so it was straight. But it was after I saw this video, and it was a video of her doing the different layers for her vocals. And so I was slick studying while I was watching it, just trying to figure out, how do people be stacking them vocals in that way? And she cold as hell, bro. Honestly, I'm gonna have to send that video out or something because that shit was cold. And then, of course, I had to, rest in peace DMX for this week. So I had to go ahead and listen to some DMX essentials, man. And so I went through it all, man. I was listening to everything I could, DMX, man. But of course, my favorite song is Slippin', bro. So I listened to Slippin' probably 3, 4, 5, 6 times. And the funny thing is, on the albums, it's the edited version. So when you listen to it, you be like, damn, where is the curse words, goddammit? Because that makes it feel a little different. But he actually got it's a re-recorded version of it that you can find. And on the re-recorded version, it's unedited. So I listened to that as well. And then the last thing I listened to is it's a girl named Lakia. She's got a tape out called In Due Time. And I had heard something from her before. It was like her and the City Girls. I can't remember what the name of the song was. But I feel like, Tommy, you told me to listen to that shit.
I can't remember the song. I know who you talking about. She just came out with something.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I was listening to. But it was some cool songs on there too. I ain't get a chance to finish that done. But I'm going to go back and finish that out as well. But that's pretty much it. That's pretty much been what I listened to this week, outside of like random shit here and there that I just picked up on.
Yeah.
But since we got a guest in the building, bro. Since we got a guest, not the building. Since we got a guest in the virtual building, fuck you, man. Jay, what you been on this past week, man? What you been listening to?
Oh man. So I've been listening to No Dope on Sundays.
Okay.
I go back to that a lot. Sci-Hi the Prince. I listen to that a lot. Sci-Hi, one of my favorites. Of course, I also been on DMX. I got a playlist I put together, but my favorite song is How's It Going Down.
Oh, yeah.
You know, this junk just cool to me. It always was. And it's one of the best open lines ever. Probably ticking with this chicken trying to see if I'm a creeper. Like, just coming in, that's the tone for that whole song. Who else have I been listening to this week? I've been listening to Nip. Because, you know, the anniversary of him passing just came up too. So I've been bumping a lot of Nipsey Hussle. And of course I've been listening to Me. And P Funk had put out an album like a month or two ago, I think. So I've been bumping that. Fire. That joint is fire. And who else? What else am I listening to? Bonfire. I've been listening to Bonfire a lot. And Black. Or Six Black, depending on what you choose to call them. I bump a lot of Black though, man. Like, that's kind of what's been in my rotation though. That's pretty much it. Like, I listen to a lot of No Dope on Sundays. I feel like that's a really underrated album.
It is. I think he's an underrated artist, man. Like,
these are facts. Yeah.
Like, for real, man.
Yeah, man. I got a chance to see him perform some of the songs from that. I think it was at one of the Creek concerts that he came to Memphis, and I got a chance to see Sci-Hi. It was pretty cool, man. Because I think I didn't get on to Sci-Hi until I think he had like Royal Flush 2 was the name of the mixtape. Yeah. And I got a chance to kind of pick up on some of the stuff he was doing at that time. But that's been a long time. Shit, that was like 2010, 11, something like that. But I always liked it, man. Shit, I think my favorite Sci-Hi project was the first Black History project he put out. I really like that.
With Barry White on it?
Yeah, Dick.
Yeah.
That's my favorite time on there. Yes, bro. That jump on it, bro. I'm gonna have to go back and listen to that jump because Barry White was my song, bro. Like, I was listening to that motherfucker every day. Yeah. That shit was great.
Barry White, you ride by people, they want to know what you're playing. That jump was beating. Like, for real.
Crazy, bro. Crazy. I gotta go listen to that hoe today. Now that you said that, I'm like, shit, I gotta go listen to that hoe today, man.
Yeah.
Oh man.
Shit, let's.
What you had in your speakers though? What you had in your speakers over there, Tom?
You took my words.
Right, there it is.
Yeah, I'm active in the podcast. We're gonna be fluid.
That is. Man, I actually, man, I don't know what's been wrong with me, but I've been on like a NWA kick lately. So
you gotta answer.
I actually watched the movie again this past week, straight out of Compton. So I listened to that album. What else was it? Dr. Dre, The Chronic. I checked that one out. Got over to Bone Thugs and Harmony. Both of their albums, Creeping Are Coming and E1999 Eternal. Somehow I got to Do or Die. Picture This album. Of course, y'all know what song I was listening to. Pope Him. Adrenaline Rush. Next. Then, man, I went down a little rabbit hole with Missy Elliott. Like,
ain't nothing wrong with that.
Super Duper Fly, The Real World, Missy, So Addictive. Miguel came out with I guess it's like an EP I don't really know the difference from an album and an EP, but it had 4 songs on it. It was super cool. Lakia, what you listen to in due time.
Yeah.
Mo 3 had came out with something, Shot Us Forever. So I checked that out. Doja Cat Hot Pink album. She came out with a song. I put it in the Slack, the video.
That video fire.
That video fire. Who was it, SZA?
Yeah, it's very creative, bro.
Yeah, man. So, and then, man, you know, DMX, when I heard the news, I was like, dog, I need to listen to his stuff, man. It's like, you know, you don't forget about DMX because he's an icon at this point. And instantly I thought about Steve because Steve is like the biggest DMX fan I know. But you listen to his stuff and then you like, damn, he had this one. You forget, well, me personally, I forgot how many hits and how long of a span this man like was really hot because he came out in 98 and then you look at his discography, he was still dropping music within the last 2 years. You know what I'm saying?
I got a cool DMX story too. I'm gonna tell it in a little bit.
Okay. Then, you know, the last thing that I can remember, like off the top, was Grand Champ that I listened to. You know, he had Year of the Dog right after that in 2006, but Grand Champ. So that's 98 through 2003 that I'm like, yeah, you know, got to listen to DMX, you know. But the man was still dropping music. So, you know, just checking out that. Outkast, of course, I was listening to it. And to top everything off, man, Jay DaSkreet.
I'm in there.
In Plain Sight, man. Like it's, bruh, like I can't wait till we get started talking on that because it's 2 tracks in particular that I was like, oh man, I gotta talk to him about this one. But yeah, man, it was some more stuff too. But that's pretty much the most. Oh, I watched the Tina Turner documentary. That's how I got to Missy Elliott.
Okay.
Because Tina Turner has a version of I Can't Stand the Rain. And you know, what's her name? Some Peoples originally made it. And that's what the sample I Can't Stand the Rain is off of. But I didn't know Tina Turner made a song, I Can't Stand, like basically remade the song or whatnot.
Okay.
And so that's what got me there. So, yeah, man, that's my week.
Man, there's a lot, bro. You filled in a whole lot, bro. You pulled a Steve this week.
Yeah, I did.
You had plenty shit, bro. Plenty shit.
Yeah.
Steve be coming out with the scroll, man. He like
every time, bro. Somebody coming in like, all right, y'all.
Right.
I'm like, damn, nigga, chill out. But I ain't seen the Tina Turner joint yet, bro. I got a chance to check out a little bit of what is that junk called? The hip hop whatever junk that was on FX.
Uncovered?
Yeah, hip hop Uncovered. I got a chance to. I finished that junk.
Did you?
So like when we get a chance to talk about that, bro, I got some stuff to say.
Yeah. Man,
watch it.
Man, I've been waiting because I know we talking about it, so I've been kind of waiting to watch it or whatnot. So it's definitely on my list to watch, man. But check out that Tina Turner jump, man. It's like it allows you to. You heard the stories about Ike and Tina, but it allows you to really learn her because you know she recently just got inducted into the Hall of Fame as a solo artist.
Yeah,
and so it really dives into like what happened or how she got there. You know what I'm saying? Because the Ike and Tina thing had haunted her for a very long time. And the sad part about the whole thing, and then I'm done about this documentary, is Ike's legacy, because talent-wise, amazing, right? But his legacy is always tied to being a woman beater and a womanizer, if I said
and drug addict.
And the drug addict, yeah. So it's crazy how talented this man was, but what he did, it ruined him as an artist, man, I think so.
Yeah.
But yeah, check it out when you get a chance, man. Yeah, so let's jump into this news thing, man. For me, it hadn't been a lot of news. I'm gonna start with Prince Philip died. And DMX died. and that's the point, you know. It affects people differently. You know what I'm saying? It's a big thing that he died. He was 99 years old. And
like almost made 100.
Almost made 100. That was the first thing I thought. But then, you know, DMX died and it affected us. It affected the world in a completely different way. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It was kind of like DMX, if you watching the news, DMX, they running something on him. Then Prince Philip died, is scrolling at the bottom of the screen.
It's in the ticker tape.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, so I want to say RIP from the Speaker Geekers podcast to both of those guys. We hate to hear about that, man. But the big news for me was DMX passing and the legacy that he brought. Jay DaSkreet, I kind of want to hear your story, man. I wanted to save it to this part, man. So if you would, tell us your story about DMX, man.
Okay, yeah. First off, I want to go back to what you said about Ike Turner's legacy in contrast to DMX's legacy, because there was no secrets about DMX's legacy as far as his struggles, his bouts with drugs and everything. But in spite of that, his legacy is one of love as opposed to what Ike's legacy is. And it's amazing how small things change, you know what I'm saying, how people remember you. Yeah. But my DMX story is like, I was on Instagram and I put out the intro to In Plain Sight, and I put out the intro video and I sponsored it. So I wanted people to see it. And it was doing numbers, it was doing good. And I got hit up from the DMX page. I got a DM. And it was like basically saying, hey, I want you to rock with me. I'm doing this mixtape, you know. And I talked to a couple people that be helping me put my music out. And they was like, man, I don't know. A lot of them Instagram pages, they scamming people right now. They're gonna ask you for some money. They're gonna put you on a mixtape with a bunch of people. They're not really gonna listen to the music. If you pay, you get on the mixtape. Mm-hmm. And so I was kind of filling it out. I was inboxing the page back, DMing the page back on Instagram. And, you know, we negotiated a couple times talking about the price, because the price was like, I want to say like somewhere between $500 to $1 band to get on this mixtape. And real talk, I had got the info and I was like negotiating like, well, what about if I can just get a drop? Like, what would it take for me to just get a drop from you? Because I'm baiting them. I'm thinking, okay, if this fake, then they'll wash out. Mm-hmm. So like I want to say like 2 or 3 months ago, I physically got to talk to DMX on the phone, bro. Like, I got a call from this guy, trying to think of his name on Instagram. It's like all in one word. His name starts the name, and then it's like Kev if something, but like it's part of his management team. And he was like, yeah, is this Jay? I was like, yeah. This is Jay DaSkreet? I was like, yeah. Hey, hold on. X want to talk to you. Like, and he was on the phone for all of maybe like 2 minutes. It was like, yeah, what we doing? You trying to move or what? What you doing? Like, and I was so fucking up for like a whole 2 minutes and not saying nothing. Then, you know, I was talking to him and I was trying to negotiate, like getting a drop. I was gonna put it on In Plain Sight because I knew I couldn't afford a feature, but I was just trying to get a drop. It was gonna be a skit, you know what I'm saying? And he was like, man, you really messing up, man. You missing out. I'm trying to get on this, get this mixtape out, but I only want people that's hungry. And like, you know what I'm saying? Around the time I was making posts, but I wasn't putting no names in the posts because I was so stoked. And like the post would be on Facebook, like when you talk to a legend, when you talk to one of your heroes, but I didn't want to put it out there in case it worked out. So it was gonna be a surprise on TV. And the guy that was managing was like, just if this all you need, man, just go to Cameo. He's like, we doing Cameo right now. The management guy was like, we doing Cameo. If it's just about a drop, you can go to Cameo and we'll clear it. You know what I'm saying? But at the time, I didn't do it. And the mixtape ended up dropping. And, you know, God bless the dead. I'm forever a DMX fan. The mixtape just wasn't where it was at. Like, it was exactly what people told me it was going to be. People paid steam to get on that mixtape, and they wasn't necessarily that good. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But I did miss that window to do the cameo thing because at the time, you know, I'm still learning and navigating, so I was still kind of like, you know what I'm saying, spooked about doing it.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. I got to talk to the God, man, like for probably like 6-7 minutes, like, and it was so major, like, you know what I'm saying. Then recently, when I found out about him going into I guess it was like the comatose state or whatever, like it really shook me because I was already a fan, but also I didn't want to say anything about it because you know when somebody passes, people always think you looking for, you know, clout or whatever. I was like, ain't nobody gonna believe it. But my inner circle, they all know. So when they see this podcast, they gonna know I'm telling the truth because they all got calls at like midnight and 1 a.m. and shit. Like, bro, I talked to DMX, nigga. Like, you know what I'm saying? So it was a major thing, man. And I had been following him. He had been on a couple podcasts recently saying what he was trying to do. They was trying to do a documentary of the original crew and all that. So, you know, just gone too soon, man. But yeah, it's my DMX story, man. I got to hear, like, hearing his voice over the phone and the cadence of how he talked being exactly what you expect was a little much at first. You know what I'm saying? Yo, it was a real dope moment, man. Like, real shit. So, yeah, that's my DMX story, man. Like, and I probably would never post it anywhere else. I'm glad that I got to tell somebody. Cause like I said, you know, ain't nobody gonna want to believe it. You know what I'm saying? But I know forever that it's the real though. So, you know what I'm saying? Like, and I got to deal with the fact that I passed up on at least potentially getting the cameo and the shout out, so I could have that to listen to. Even if I didn't put it on nothing, it would have been dope to have.
Yeah.
But that's a lesson learned as an artist. You know what I'm saying?
For sure. Yeah, for sure, man. That's a cool story, man. I don't have any stories like that.
Oh man, I got a lot of stories. Some of the decisions have been dope. Some of them I be going back to like, you might should have did that. Yeah. But you know, you live and you learn. Yeah.
For sure. Man, my experience with DMX is crazy. That's why I appreciate the podcast so much because Steve was and is like a big brother to me. You know what I'm saying? Because Steve is who introduced me to like DMX. You know, before Steve, I didn't listen to music with cussing in it. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, so when growing up, you know, and that came out, like Steve was all on it. You know what I'm saying? I hope he jumps in like soon so he can kind of talk about his experience with DMX. But, you know, man, just listening to his music over there at Steve's house, listening to the songs on with the videos and stuff like that, listen to the songs on the radio, man. That's a icon that you didn't know you was gonna miss from my part. You know what I'm saying? You know, you hear him on the features, and he always made the song better. It wasn't a feature that you was like, he could have been left off of it. Like, it's been some features that I've seen from artists that was like, they didn't make or break the song, but, you know, if they was left off the song, you've been like, it probably would have either been a better song or just what it is. But DMX always improved songs to me. When it came to, I always found it fascinating that he was such a religious person, but then the topics that he talked about was so real. You know what I'm saying? And it kind of balanced everything out because, you know, it's like going to church and, you know, everybody that sits on the front row, you know, all of them curse. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? So it was kind of like that dynamic for me, man. And, you know, this past week, just hearing the news about him passing made me kind of go back and say, okay, well, let me listen to this. And then it put me in a space where I was like, damn, I remember where I was at here. I remember the story that he's telling right here. I've seen or heard this story before in an experience. You know, and something I didn't know, man, my wife was a huge fan of DMX. Did not know that, man. I was like, what? So we playing the songs and she, like, it's funny to hear her like rapper songs. Like if you listen to our podcast, every end of the podcast, on our August Love Story, John, she's always quoting a rap song. I find it funny because she doesn't listen to rap. So I'm sitting in here listening to some DMX. She come around the corner just rapping. I'm like, what? Wait, you know. So to see that and hear that, man, it's kind of good, you know. Damn, it's just sad, man. It's just truly sad, man. We lost a legend like that.
Really is, man. Because growing up, I was definitely a DMX fan, but not to the extent of like two of my cousins. So like Derek, the other half of Acronym, and then his sister, Diamond. They like some huge fucking DMX fans, bro. Like two years ago, them niggas hit me up like on some random shit and just was like, bro, DMX gonna be in New Orleans, bro. Look, we gotta go to New Orleans so we can go see DMX. And like the first thought in my mind was like, hell no. I ain't gonna drive 6 hours just to go to no DMX concert. But then I'm glad I said yes. Cause like I got a chance to go and check this man out for real and see that man in his element, bro. Not just seeing him on TV or not just like hearing his music, like see that nigga in his element. That nigga is everything that you hear in the songs, bro. Like soon as the man came on the stage, like he busting that motherfucker performing songs and shit, and then like he'd take a break, he'd say a prayer for the crowd and shit. In the middle of the prayer, be cussing and shit. And you're like, what the fuck? Like this nigga is a trip. And then he'll go from praying for you to telling you, like I had posted a little clip and shit on my Instagram where he was like, bro, I've been around the world, fucked a lot of bitches. But like, ain't nothing gonna compare to this right here, standing on this stage. I was born for this shit. And then like at the end, he come back and he pray for everybody. And he did. And then like he point out a girl in the crowd and like, hey, is my intentions clear? Like this is what I want to do. And I'm just like, this man is But it was just cool to see that man rocking like that, bro. Because that man is really a fucking legend, bro. Like, and listening to his music, like I've said before about like Project Pat and shit, like when you listen to that man music, it give you a different feeling. Because you can tell, like, this is coming from a real fucking place. Like, this nigga is really, this just life for him. It's not even like it's an effort. It's just like, this is just all I am, and I'm just giving this shit to you on this song right here. And so, I really appreciate it. Then he's just an excellent fucking poet at that. That man just told.
Right.
That man rocked Africa. That man rocked the entire Africa.
Man, that man crazy.
Concert clip where you can't even see where the crowd is.
Yeah.
It's amazing. Like,
I can't even imagine, bro. Like that's a whole lot of fucking people.
Right. It's bro, I couldn't imagine
they
that.
They all tuned into their wavelength too while he was performing. It didn't matter that it was that many people. They all locked in on what he was doing. Like that's amazing.
Man, it's probably crazy, like for people that like his family, you know, to see the outpouring that he's having around the world. Because like, bro, like he died and a prince died, right? Like it's like that's big. A prince has died, but he's getting the most action. You know what I'm saying? That has to be refreshing to happen for his family, that people actually love this man. Because I don't think, just briefly, I don't know the real story behind his upbringing and stuff, but it wasn't great. You know what I'm saying? Like from what I remember or what I've heard was that he had a really tough time growing up, you know? And to become the man that the icon, the legend that he had become, and to be loved the way that he's loved today, like it has to be a good feeling for his family, you know? Yeah, man. R.I.P. to DMX. Much love to his family. We appreciate his music and what he's done for us and everything like that. I kind of want to brighten the spot a little bit with this, because we haven't had a chance to talk about it, man. But Earth, Wind, and Fire versus the Isley Brothers happened last week.
Yeah.
Bruh, it was a great one. It was like it was long. Like it was super long, but it was a great it was a great versus. I would rank it as one of the top ones. I'm really starting to see what is it, Thriller or Triller? Triller is starting to how they're making it better. You know what I'm saying? The presentation wise and everything. Because we actually watched it on Triller instead of watching it on Instagram. We was able to stream it to the TV and everything like that. What was y'all thoughts on it? Did y'all get a chance to see it or?
I saw most of it.
I did not get a chance to see it. I was the night it happened, I was doing a rehearsal for a show that I put together.
Yeah.
And I just didn't get a chance to go back and watch it, but it's on my list though. Because, I work overnight, so I always catch up over things later after everybody else. So I work literally while everybody else is asleep. So I get to listen and check out everything else. So, it's definitely in my agenda to get to it though. But I'm heavily leaning for the Isley Brothers as far as who's gonna have the most bangers. But it's hard to say.
Yeah.
Like,
man,
Earth, Wind & Fire do everything. They do everything.
Right.
Yeah.
Man, it was I like the fact that I understood why Steve Harvey was the host of it, because it wouldn't have been able to work if he wasn't there, or if they didn't have somebody there. Steve Harvey was super excited, man. You got to imagine if the person that you grew up listening to, in your prime days of getting females, you know what I'm saying? Your prime days of getting females, and you're hosting that artist, to do a versus battle, to do anything.
Yeah.
And you're gonna have stories.
Oh yeah.
You know what I'm saying? That
nigga had plenty.
So many stories, man.
That's the main thing I've been hearing about is Steve Harvey, which is funny.
Man.
When people talk to me about it, you ain't seen it yet? It's Steve Harvey trip. They ain't talking to me about this.
Man, Steve Harvey, man, he told them stories, and then on Twitter was eating them up. Come on, Steve. You see that video of that lady? Yeah. Oh, she was like, Steve with the stories, man. But I understood where he was coming from with he was sitting there with people, man. He had the best time of his life listening to their music, man. Yeah. One of the best times of his life. So yeah, he got the stories, man. But when you got down to the music, it was just a jam session. The whole 3-4 hours, man. We're sitting there listening to it. It was just crazy, man. DJ D Nice was there doing this thing, man. Dude, throughout the pandemic, he has stepped up in a major way, man. Just to even imagine that the Isley Brothers have been working in the music industry since the 1950s, and then released a song after the verses. Man, that is what was that? 60 years, 50 years, 40 years, something like that.
Yeah, 60 years, bro. Them folks got plenty music. Plenty music. I'm pretty sure they got more music than we can imagine.
Man, of course,
60 years of music is ridiculous.
Right. And it's they're still a group though.
Yeah.
That's the crazy part. They're we're still the Isley Brothers. Him and Ernie.
Yeah.
Man, you look at them old pictures of them though, bro. You be like, man, y'all these guys?
Right.
They was putting it down though.
Man, they got hits for days. I was amazed at how many times they had been sampled. Both groups, Earth, Wind & Fire. I don't know the number, but it was in the hundreds.
Yeah.
Both groups, man. Amazing artists, amazing time. I really enjoyed it when they started singing together. They did a few, it was 2 songs that they did that both groups got up and sung together. I think that was amazing. I just like what Versus is doing and what it has done for the culture for throughout the pandemic. Shout out to Swiss Beats and Timbaland for even just coming up with that, man, because like, dude, it's this last time, man, you had grandmamas, you had moms, dads, you know, cousins, like everybody was talking about it. Everybody was watching it because it music spanned from over 60 years that all of us have grew up listening to. You know what I'm saying? Like their music has touched everybody.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Like that shit, that's
like you said for Steve, that was the music he was using to pick up the women, you know. But with us being the younger generation, that's cookout music.
Man, cookout music, clean up music.
Like that's barbecue music.
Yeah. So it's amazing, man. Earth, Wind and Fire, like I think the song is September. Like my wife wanted to come out, like play that at our wedding. I was like, all right, I don't care, but you know, she wanted to get married on the 21st of September or something like that. So we didn't, but that's what she wanted to do. But no, man, I think that Versus was fire. They really did, like Trilla really went out. You know, they had a few people in the crowd, so they was able to like really have a concert in front of people. Ernie, like his talent has shined through, like playing the guitar. Dude is nice. Like that's all I can say. And that's 60 plus years of playing the guitar.
Oh yeah,
man. And still can do it, man. Earth, Wind and Fire, they was missing like one of the lead singers died, I think in 2016. Maurice, yeah. They were missing him, but the other guys were up there doing their thing. I was like, I didn't know who it was that was missing until like afterwards. I finally looked it up. I knew somebody was missing. I'm trying to think. They took a break halfway through it, bro. That was like a real halftime, bro.
Like, long ass break,
I was like, well, damn, I'm gonna go get something to eat.
It was like 40 minutes. I was like,
damn, man.
You gotta think about who we talking about, man. Right. They needed that break.
They did.
They sure did. Hey, man, but D-Nice was sitting up there working, boy. I'm here to tell you. But no, man, I like the trajectory that Versus is going in, man. This coming up week, they got Method Man and Redman going against each other on 420. So that should be that should be fun. Just to even see that, you know, that should be a lot of fun. One thing I didn't know before, like last year, was that Redman wasn't in Wu-Tang. Y'all had to tell me this on the podcast, but that's cool. Man, but I remember celebrating 420. I don't do it anymore. But you know, that should be a lot of fun that day.
Yeah. You can't come out of retirement?
Nah.
You sound like you finna come out of retirement.
Man, nah, I ain't gonna come out of retirement.
Sound like the lead up. You know, I don't do it anymore. You know, this year.
Nigga gonna be back.
Like 2-3, man. But now, you know, I'm looking forward to that one, man. To get my playlist of 420, my 420 playlist together. You know, I always had, bruh, I had a mean one back in college, bruh. Like everything was on that day, man. So, and I gotta watch How High 2. I never seen that one. I don't think Redman or Method Man was in that one. But
I ain't seen
it. You seen How High 1 though, right?
Yeah, not the second one.
It's DC Young Fly and Lil Yachty.
Lil Yachty, yeah. So I gotta check that out.
I didn't watch it.
You didn't? I like it's crazy, man. I like both of them guys, man. Like Lil Yachty had to grow on me, but DC Young Fly, man, he's always been cool. But I don't know, man.
I'm a fan of the original movie, man.
Man,
like,
the original one.
I just didn't watch it. Like, yeah.
That's one of the reasons why I haven't watched it, but I never thought the sequel would live up to the first one with the first one, with the Method Man and Redman not being in the second one.
Yeah.
So it was always kind of like, they just made something up. You know, so
yeah, like Belly too.
Exactly like Belly too. Yeah. Exactly.
It took me so long to even attempt to watch this. Like, I
still ain't watched it.
Belly's such a classic. I ain't never watched it all the way through. Yeah. Belly is such an iconic movie. Like, you know what I'm saying? Especially with Hype Williams directed Belly, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And you know, at the time, I don't think he had done any films. Like,
no, that was his first one. It was like a long ass music video. That shit was fire.
The scenes and shit was so dope. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, you would have thought he had been making movies. Like, so.
No, that's dope,
I don't know.
man.
I couldn't get into 2 though, man. I'm sorry.
Man, I ain't never seen it. So it just never interested me like that, man. I don't. Now that you say bring up Belly, what's the name of that movie DMX was in? Where he what's the girl from Family? No, it wasn't Family Matters. Fuck, what is she playing? Anyway, he was giving the people battery acid instead of God, what's the name of that movie, man? Like, that was the thing.
I know what you're talking about.
It was like they be selling them drugs, but then they'll do something and he'll sell them battery acid. And if they take it, they just, they die. But if they don't, it was something about I can't remember what it was, but man, that movie was a good movie. When I think of it, man, I'm gonna put it in the Slack. All the DMX movies was good. I can't think of a bad one. I'm trying to, but I can't think of a bad one.
Yeah.
Romeo Must Die was dope.
Yeah.
Drag On was in that joint too, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
One time for Drag On, man. Here's another one that's underrated. Man.
Oh, for sure, man. He had at one point in time, he was doing like little freestyles and stuff, wasn't he?
He did like 70 of them.
Yeah.
He was just putting them out every other week, and they all was fire. Like,
right.
All of them was fire. Like,
right, man.
Yeah, man.
That shit crazy, man. It's like so much talent and art surrounding that group of guys, man, and ladies. Yeah. It's crazy, man. I really miss them now. It's like, damn, man. Yeah. I wish I could listen to more or see more or do more, Because I think I saw him once in concert at one music fest. I ain't sure if I was there or not, but it is what it is. That's all I got for the news, man. If y'all got something, go feel free.
I can't think of shit.
That's all I have. Man, so the part I've been waiting on, man. Let's get into this album, In Plain Sight, man. Came out, when did it come out? In December 31st?
Yeah, so it dropped for purchase on Christmas Day.
Mm-hmm.
And then it dropped for streaming on New Year's Day.
Okay.
I gave it a little bit of a cushion, because I know even the people that love the support, it's like, mentally, it's like, why am I going to buy it when I can go stream it? But
right.
So I always wait a little while before I make it available for streaming, because as far as my music, my goal when I started was to make the music pay for itself.
Mm-hmm.
Like, so it wasn't necessarily that I was never trying to get rich off the music. I was trying to make sure that the music doesn't become another bill in my household.
There you go.
So, every album potentially pays for the next album, and it also pays for the visuals that go along with the album.
Mm-hmm.
So, it came out on Christmas Day, and then it came out everywhere else on New Year's Day.
Okay.
Yeah, man. 12 joints. Like, I'm confused too now about what people consider an album. Albums have become shorter. Well, what people are willing or able to classify as albums have become shorter over the last 5 years.
Mm-hmm.
So now 7 songs is considered an album.
Oh, really?
It just depends on how long the songs are.
That's crazy, man. Kanye came out with that too, right?
Well, yeah, he did the whole Good Music catalog like that. So that was the year that all of them dropped in one year. And I think Pusha T led that off. So it was Pusha T, Kanye, Tiana Taylor, Kid Cudi.
Yep.
Yeah.
And then the joint album with Kid Cudi.
Yeah.
The Kid See Ghost joints. And they all did 7 albums, you know what I'm saying? And they got Grammy nominations within there too. Like, they was doing work.
Definitely, man.
Yeah, man.
That's crazy, man. So we got 12 songs on here.
Yes, sir.
I want to start with, what was your mindset going into making this album, and how long did it take you to actually complete the project?
Time working on it took a few months. The time it took all of that to come together was almost 3 years, because Regaining My Weight was the first song recorded for this album.
Yeah.
And, you know, that joint was way back. It was like 3 years, coming up on 4 years ago. But around that time, I was debating on whether or not I was going to make an album that I fully control. Because if you look through my catalog, a lot of my albums are collabs. You know, the Walk the Line series is a collab with one of my best friends, Slim Pro. So that's all the Walk the Lines. No Exits is collabs with Knee Braces. So I wanted to do an album where I curated all the tracks. I went and met with the different producers. I got the sound. And Regaining the Weight was what started it.
Okay.
But during it, Kingpin, the composer, he approached me and was like, man, I got a joint for you. And we did a song called Make Me a Believer. He sent it to me on like a Wednesday. I got it recorded that weekend. And then Monday, I sent it back to him. And he was like, all right, I'm going to send you the next joint by Wednesday. So I was like, all right, what's the next joint? He said, I told you I had a jump for you. So that's when the Memphis came out.
Yeah.
Because I thought he was saying, I got a song for you. And he was saying, I got a tape. We're going to do a tape.
Yeah.
So, you know what I'm saying? That was the interchangeableness of the jump word. It threw me completely off. I was like, well, we're going to do a whole jump then. So I put my album that I was going to do solo, I kind of just put it in the vault. I had some songs put together already. I put it to the side, and we did Walking with the Spaceman. And then we did the run with Walking with the Spaceman. And then I came back and did In Plain Sight. So, you know, a lot of these songs is like several years old.
Yeah.
But, you know, they just was sitting on ice until I got ready to get them mixed and mastered and stuff. So, yeah.
That's cool.
The process was, I saw bars coming back to the forefront, even in the mainstream. But I never stopped doing bars. So the concept of being in plain sight is like, all right, so people more likely to find me now because of what they searching, because my music is similar. But my music been right there the whole time. So I've been in plain sight the whole time. So that was the concept of why the album is named what it's named, you know.
All right.
So yeah, that's where it came from. That was the goal, was to showcase me. I've been doing it. Like y'all look at folks spitting, I've been spitting. Like, you know.
Yeah.
I think he did that though.
No, I think it's cool. Like I was looking at and I just looked at it just to make sure I wasn't tripping. But I looked at the cover out, the picture on the cover, and I was like, the first thing that stood out to me was like, why does he have this picture of, it looks like just a bunch of white people just at a concert. And then if you look close enough, you can find Waldo. which is I guess that's you.
There's literally only like 3 black people in that picture.
Right.
Like, that was funny too. We did that on purpose too. Like, because people immediately noticed that, I saw these white people.
Yeah.
So the next thing they do is like, is it any black people in here? And that's usually how they find me in the picture. But then they find these other, and all the black people in the picture, they group right together. Like we would be if we were there. Like,
where you get the picture from?
Man, Friday Black, he did all the artwork for the album, like all the pictures, promo leading up to it, the throw out pictures.
Yeah.
He did that. And so he found that image. He just doctored it a little bit. That's all, you know what I'm saying? It was a real concert image. We just went and played with it a little bit to bend it to what we wanted it to be. Yeah. And Friday Black a monster, man.
Yeah. Okay.
Definitely, man.
Yeah.
That's what's up, man. I did want to talk to you about you got a couple features on here, and it's two in particular that I'm familiar with their music. The one with Trina Michelle and Over.
Yeah.
And then Dear Silas, Way Back in the SIP.
Way Back in the SIP, yeah.
Let's talk about Way Back in the SIP first, and then we'll get into the one that you did with Trina.
Yeah.
It makes sense. Like I found out about Dear Silas and off of YouTube, and then just to hear him in the song, and I was like, they from Mississippi. That makes sense. Yeah. So can we talk about a little bit about how you guys got together, and then we kind of go into like the actual song a little bit?
Yeah, that's easy. So like when I was trying to just build my base, I started just finding different places where I can tap in and perform. Because I find it's easier to convert people to fans if they see me live first. Mm-hmm. So I found out about some stuff. His manager, Kamikaze. First off, Brad Kamikaze, he was one of the original members of Crooked Letter with David Bella. So Silas is his artist. He's managing Silas. So I went down there for a showcase that he was doing. And that's the first time I met Silas. And then I started plugging in with people in Baton Rouge and like Marcel P. Black and all of them. And this circuit of people was the circuit that Silas was already moving in. And so we kind of just would pop up in the same rooms. You know what I'm saying? I always thought he was a dope artist. And we kind of started building a relationship. And we was already working on doing something together. Like he was going to come to Memphis. And me and him was going to kind of do a show together at the High Tone. And he had a project out. And one of the songs got attached to a Dexter Laboratory meme. Mm-hmm. So he got a song and the hook is like, skr, skr. So somebody took the video and made it to where Dexter was singing it in the girl's ear. And the shit took off. Like overnight, I remember talking to his manager because we was negotiating him coming here. But like his shit just took off. Like it went viral and it was starting to hit the millions on different platforms. So it was like Twitter first, it hit like 1.5 on Twitter. And then the calls start coming in for him. Mm-hmm. So like that's how it is now. Like why you that big or why you viral, that's when the opportunities come. So we got flooded with so much stuff that we really couldn't reach each other. I couldn't talk to him for a while. It just was one of them times it just got hectic. So I can't say it died down, but it came to a point where he came back around. And that's the dope part about this, about him just being a real nigga. Like, cause at the time we was kind of doing this, and then he go viral and it's like,
yeah.
And it could have easily been like, well, I can't really be doing, features for under such and such.
Yeah.
But he came back and did it for the same thing we discussed prior to. And I thought that was real dope.
That's dope.
And Back in the SIP was one of my most streamed songs at the time. It was right up there with Regaining My Weight. So I was like, I'm finishing this album up. And, Slim, my homie that I was talking about, he was my first producer. He produced the original. And I wanted to have something from him on this album anyway. So I was like, it's only right I get Slim to remix this joint.
Yeah.
And then I put Silence on it, and then it's a whole Mississippi connection, and it just makes sense. So, you know what I'm saying? I sent them a record. Then also, just to play on words, Back in the SIP, we made it way back in the SIP because he a little deeper. He in Jackson, so he was going way back into the SIP to go get the feature. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So it just worked out, man. It just turned out dope.
That's dope, man. That is super dope, man. I saw that and I heard it and I was like, man, this song is banging.
Yeah.
The first thing the first thing that I thought about was the beat. I like the beat. That's pretty much like this podcast has taught me to listen to what's being said. But but for the most part, man, you gonna find my interest is gonna heighten when I hear the beat. You know what I'm saying? I ain't get a chance to put it in the car test because I ain't had nowhere to go. But I put it on the speakers in the house, man, and it sounds really good. I want to jump over to the song you did with Trina Michelle. Now, it's special to me because she went to school with us. Right? She went to UT. And it's funny because I knew her like my sophomore year. Like, I think I met her maybe my sophomore year. And then I didn't find out she could sing until like 2 or 3 years later. And
that's crazy.
It's wild, right? And so now it's like I'm not an avid listener to her music because it's slower music. You know what I'm saying? I'm not a real big on R&B music, you know, but I do listen to it. Like when she have a new song come out, I play it, you know what I'm saying? Just because I want to support it. But I appreciate like seeing her on your album. I'm like, gotta ask about that, man, about making that song and working with her and stuff like that, because it's like now I'm looking at it from a standpoint of, oh, I know her, you know?
Yeah.
So let's just talk a little bit about how that song came about and your relationship with her and everything like that. Cause I think she's dope as well as an artist too.
There you go. First off, I love Trina Michelle. I love how just real she is, like as a person and as an artist. Cause like she's not one of them people. Like outside of the music she makes and her stature, she's a small girl.
Right.
She Memphis to the heart.
Man.
Like she don't talk that shit. She don't let you know if she don't like some. In fact, so I make mad beats.
Yeah.
Produced that track. And so she came, I hit her up about it because I couldn't hear nobody else on it. And I hit her up to come through to the studio. And she had us in the studio doing push-ups. She came in and was like, I don't just come straight in and sing. We don't get these push-ups. Like, real deal. Like, so it's me and her. I make mad beats. We in there doing push-ups and shit. And then she actually did that hook like 3 or 4 different ways. She was like, I'm gonna do it this way. Yeah. And we'll see which one feels good. And me and her, we have a dope working relationship because like me and her, we bounce ideas off each other. She's actually got a couple features coming from me. So we kind of just been swapping out, you know what I'm saying? But she was just perfect for the sound I needed on there. Like, and she was excited to do it too. So, you know, it turned out really, really, really dope. Because that song is like a letter to the fans. Like, you know what I'm saying? Because I do have a lot of music out. I got a pretty big catalog. So the whole hook is just the testament of what I was saying earlier. Like, it's not always glamorous. Like, a lot of times the music just makes enough to cover what I spent on the music. But I feel like it's enough people that want it that I'm gonna keep doing it. So like that was the concept of I'm gonna over and over again. Like it don't matter if we ever go to BET or none of that shit. I'm gonna keep doing it. Like as long as y'all keep wanting it, I'm gonna keep doing it. Yeah. That's basically what the whole song's saying. Like, yeah, man. That's and dope. She felt the same way. She was like, I don't care if it's 10 people listening to me. I'm gonna put out music for them 10 people. Like, you know what I'm saying? So she understood it, you know what I'm saying?
Seeing him, the first time I ever heard about Dear Silas was when he did that song with Big Crit. You know how big of a fan I am of Big Crit. Yeah. And
you can't late to the train, bro. Right. You can't late to the train, bro. Because I've been listening to that man since the day I died and shit. Oh yeah. Came out. I
got you beat too. I got you beat too. But I don't want to interrupt you. I'm gonna let you go. I'm gonna give y'all the background.
No. I ain't know about it before the day I died because that was when I was just starting to get active as far as being an artist in the area, basically the region. And the reason I got on his stuff was from a mutual friend of ours, Valisa. Valisa she had started like touching different artists in Jackson, like in the Jackson area and stuff. And so I would learn about different people based on some of the people that she was interacting with at the time. And that was one of the people that I ended up looking up because she brought Kamikaze up to the Slim house one time. as I forgot what the name of the event was, but he was there, and it was him and it was another guy, and he was just talking about some of the obstacles that he's endured and some of the things that he's learned from being in the industry. And I think he may have plugged Silas then. And I think at that time he was just Silas. It was just Silas when I learned about that man. It was just Silas, and then Dear Silas came later, and I was like, all right, he got a little name change, but it's all good. But but it was just cool because The Day I Died is like the one with him with the Naruto headband and shit. And it's like a story like the whole way through and shit. And I was just like, I thought that was the coolest shit ever. Because at that time I was still working at the University of Memphis, doing some work, graduate assistantship, because I was still going to school up there. And I was just listening to that shit when I was at work, because I ain't do shit at work, nigga. I'm talking about like I was like the computer lab assistant and shit. I ain't do nothing, bro. All I had to do was put some paper in the printer. That was my job. My job was, nigga, when the printer get low, put the paper in there. And so when I was in that job, if I ain't have nothing to work on for school, then I'd just be in there listening to new music and shit. And so I was listening to just kind of checking in, trying to see what that man was talking about. And I really did appreciate that one. And then, so like you said, when stuff started to take off, it was just kind of cool to watch, because it was just like, damn, this nigga was just like, here. And now you know, like, shit just
I'm talking about
popping off
bad.
like quick as hell, bro. I saw that skirt shit and I was like, hell no, how? But you said you got me beat though.
Oh, I do got you beat. So you got Dear Silas and you got Silas. Originally, when he started his YouTube, he was Trey Parker. So as far as Trey Parker, he was doing a little bit of everything, because he's actually funny as hell. Like, you can tell that if you follow him now, he's completely him. That's another reason why I've always rocked with him. He didn't try to build a persona. Like, he was like, with The Day I Died album, he had the Naruto headband on. That shit that he really into. And a lot of rappers don't embrace themselves, but he was like that from the jump. So his Trey Parker page had like a lot of parodies of folk shit. It had skits, but in between them, he was blumping. But you know, what brought people to that channel was the comedy, the skits and shit. And once that page swole up as far as like followers and people viewing it, he was able to streamline it a little more. Like, all right, so y'all ain't gonna keep acting like I'm not bumping. Like, you know what I'm saying? It's cool that y'all here, but it's funny shit. But watch this. I'm gonna do this, and I'm gonna do this. And then he transitioned into Silas. You know what I'm saying? So like, I got to see that from the young, like, graduating high school, going to college type times. So me and him like a year apart or so. But like, that's how far back that goes. I'm talking 2005, 2006.
Yeah.
Where he had a following then, but it just was a different kind of following. So like, I really have got to see him evolve a long way. Like, and he talented on a lot of levels. Like, so yeah, I'm happy for him, man. Anytime Mississippi stand up, I'm with it, man. Like, the Crip move was major. I was proud of that too. Like, with that state. So from being from Mississippi, and I was a drum alumni. So, you know, in high school, I was a percussionist. Silas is a trumpet player. Like, I can only imagine how it had to feel for him to have a song with Big Crit with Jackson State in the video. Right. Like, all three of the things together, being from Mississippi, is fucking huge. And he from Jackson. So, you know, that's music. That's huge. You know what I'm saying? So, like, I was real happy about that. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And he still came around and did the album, even after all of it. Right. Yeah. Bro, let's get back to the album right quick, bro. We gonna rein this shit in. I'm gonna reel you niggas in. All right, bro. So y'all kind of answered a lot of the questions that I wanted to ask, because I was gonna ask about like the album artwork and about the title and how you came up with that. And then I was gonna ask about your approach to how you started it and how you picked the features and the producers and shit. But you kind of covered all of it. But what we haven't kind of talked about is kind of like favorite songs on the album. Because I know you mentioned that like Regaining My Weight came out like some years in the past.
Which is true, because I remember when shit came out with the little water bottle and shit on there, and I was like, nigga, this shit perfect. But like, what I hadn't heard yet was like movie shit, and then On versus On, and then the Lion Man. I had not heard them songs before the album actually dropped, and those became like the ones that I gravitate to when I turned the project on. So like I still play Regaining My Weight because that just got a cool ass sound, bro. Like it's timeless as fuck. Yeah. But then also like movie shit, it put me in the mind of because you a very talented person, bro. First of all, just let you know that. But like the way that you structure songs and shit is always on point, bro. Like where I've seen it, where I first started to see it, like at the level that I feel like it's at now, it was like Walking with the Spaceman. Like I started starting to craft into another fucking level. Cause like you always had dope ass shit. Cause even when I did the thing at the Slim House, like I think that was the first time we really got a chance to do anything together. And you got a chance to kind of review, damn, I can't even remember the song right now. What is the name of the song? Never Ending Story. Boom, there we go. So Never Ending Story is like a taste of where we at now with shit like movie shit. Yeah. Like that's a taste of where that shit could have gone. That's where like I seen it and it was like, all right, this nigga got something here. I'm gonna see what happens with this little clip on the radar and shit. That motherfucker has exploded since then. So since then we've turned into a complete fucking monster. And so movie shit is like from the production down to like the lyrics and how you like cater us through that motherfucker is amazing. And just talk about that shit for a second. Talk about movie shit for a second.
So movie shit is another one from I Make Mad Beats. He the only producer that's on this album twice. Okay. But when I locked it, that's actually the first one I did with him. The one with Trina Michelle was the second one I did with him. Mm-hmm. But so that session was closed. When I got there, the guitar player, I don't want to say his name wrong, but he was getting ready to leave. But he had just laid them licks that the song comes on with. So there's a live guitar. He had just laid that in the studio. He was getting ready to go. And I had already told I Make Mad what my concept was. Like, as far as I wanted a song to be a movie. Like, so I wanted it to play out in different acts. Mm-hmm. So it comes on like an action sequence. It come on just hard. Like, you know what I'm saying? I come on going straight in before the drums even fall in. It's kind of like reminiscent to a car chase. Like an opening movie opens with a car skidding into the scene type shit. That's me on the track. Yeah. And then the drums come in later. And then by the time you get to the hook, that's kind of like a break. Because it's straight bars from the beginning till you get to that first break. And then we had a vocalist on there. And then you go into the second half of the song, it's a dramatic drop. Mm-hmm. Like, all of this is movie terms. We talked about the song in movie terms. Like, we broke it down as if it was a movie. So, like, even the reference, when it came in at the second verse, they trying to kill my Cooley vibe, like Cochise on Cooley High. Like, movie fans would catch that and be like, okay, that's hard. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? And even the way I said it, like, I know it's a couple people that's been talking to me about it. It's like, man, it sounds like you recorded this song at different times. Like, no, it was all in one day. I'm supposed to sound different right there because it's a different emotion right there. And it worked out perfectly. Like, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. And he captured everything I wanted to capture. Even the way it cut off. Like, when it cuts off with my last word and you got the vocalist singing you out, it's supposed to feel like the credits running. Mm. And to me, it does. It feels like the credits running. Like, everything's winding down to fade to black. Like, you know what I'm saying? So that's why I wanted to give people a journey with this whole album. So, like, when you were saying The Day I Died was a story, mm-hmm. This album is a story. It's just a little more abstract. It ain't so in your face that you can just pick it apart, but it's my story. So the intro is all bars. Mm-hmm. Like, when I first started, I was doing open mic battles, freestyle battles. Mm. So the intro is that. It's no structure. It's like a bunch of different cadences, a bunch of different like metaphors and flips, and that's that. And then you go into On versus On when I decided what I wanted out of the business. So that's why on versus on was like that. Then you got MCs versus instrumentals, because at that time I was super lyrical and I wasn't trying to figure out whether I wanted to write songs or not. Everything. So MCs versus instrumentals is real lyrical. That's why I went and got Austin Michael, because I knew he could hold up the bar wherever I was gonna set it at, and he did. And then you go into Mixed Signals, which is the most mainstream sounding song down there on the whole album, which is when I found out how to do that.
Yeah.
So that's when I put that in the album. And the whole album just keeps going like that. It's just one long story. Like, and some people will pick up on it. I don't think many people will pick up on it because, like I said, it ain't so direct. But I know that's why it's structured like this. Like,
but nigga, that's why interviews like this is necessary. I feel is because niggas need to be able to tell us that shit. Right. For if we do not pick up on it, it's like, bro, because just hearing it that way, it makes you appreciate it a totally different way. It's like, oh shit, this is a whole story. Now every time I listen to this shit from this point on, I have that in mind. Yeah. The same way that you listen to it when you listen to it back, and you already know that story. Because that's how I feel about my own shit. It's like, I know the goddamn story, but niggas may not know unless I tell them. So I got to go back and like, all right, bro, this is what we was doing here. This is what I was doing here. And then it's like, oh, I see what you talking about. Like, yeah, that's why this shit is necessary. So niggas can tell you in their own words exactly what you supposed to be feeling. Because some of the stuff you just pick up on naturally, like you said. Some of the stuff you're gonna pick up on naturally. But it's always them little intricate details that take it to the next level for me.
Man, I put so much stuff in there that I don't necessarily catch people. I don't necessarily expect people to catch. Like the hook on Mixed Signals is if you get the drift and you like my drip, just let me slide through. All of that goes back into slide. It's a drift. You know what I'm saying? You get the drip, you step in something, that drip, you slide. All of that was supposed to be clever wordplay. But it's so catchy, people don't give a fuck how clever it is. It's like, I like how that sounds. You know what I'm saying? And I get that too. Yeah.
Man, it's crazy to hear like the breakdown of the songs, just because for me, this is the first music that I listened to of yours. You know what I'm saying? So just coming into it, listening to it for the first time, and now getting a chance to understand your process in it, or understand how the layout of the album was. It's like, for me now, I can't wait till we finish so I can go back and listen to it and find those things. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So it's like, it gives me an opportunity to go back and look for things in the music, because all those the Cooley High part, I picked up on that. I was like, Cooley, okay, I see what you're doing with that. The drip part, I didn't catch that, but I know the part that you know what I'm saying. I heard the words and I was like, that's dope what he said, but I didn't realize that it was like all about slipping and falling and stuff like that. So that's one reason why it's like, oh, I love this, man. You know what I'm saying?
Man, that's dope, man. I appreciate it.
Yeah, like for sure. I don't know. You briefly talked about Eye Opener. I think that's the intro, right?
Yeah. Right. Eye Opener.
That's my favorite one. Like, the beat is so hard on that, but like,
man, that's rowdy production.
That, like, dude, like it's tough. When you was like, I was just throwing bars out there, I could tell. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's like, if the intro, like, I was like, that's the intro. You know what I'm saying? Coming into it, I was like, damn, that's the intro. Okay, let's see what this man talking about. You know what I'm saying? So,
that's the last song recorded for the album.
I can believe
that song was recorded like 2 weeks before the album came out. Initially, On versus On was the intro.
Oh yeah.
But I kept saying, I put a post out there and everything. I was like, how important is an intro? And I was just talking to my fans, and a lot of them was like, man, intros, they set the tone. And I was like, well, maybe I'll do an intro. Like, I was damn near packaging. Like, we had to go back and change the track list artwork, because I literally did it 2 weeks before the album came out. So I had to go back and get Black to add a fucking song and shift everything down and change all the numbers. He's like, come on, Street, killing me, bro. Like, damn, bro. Like, but it worked out though.
Yeah.
Like, I'm glad I did.
Yeah. It definitely did, man. I was actually gonna ask you what made you want that one as the intro, but you know, it's like, bro, it's a dope intro, bro. Like the thing, like I always tell everybody, man, the beat is gonna catch my attention first, and it does that. Yeah. You know, then you go into the bars. Like the fact that you was like, I was just throwing bars out there. Now I'm finna go back and be like, okay, well, let's catch these bars. You know?
It's so many, man. Because like I didn't have to be confined to trying to tie it into a story. Yeah. So like it's punches in spots where you wouldn't look for punches. Mm-hmm. So it's like where you would end the bar normally. It's a punch there, but it's like 2 or 3 before it. But if you ain't really listening, it's cool. Yeah. If you listening, you're like, okay, yeah, okay, I see that. Yeah, and it was fun to do that too. You know what I'm saying? And not worry about what's gonna get caught and what's not gonna. I had to find that out as I grew as an artist. Like, nigga, you know, you get to where you start, man. You get to where you start explaining bars in the verse. Yeah. And now you sacrifice bars to explain bars. It's like, nah, make sure it's dope as is. And that way, even if people miss something, it's still dope. And now later on, if they listening to it 5-6 months later, that piece might catch them. And they be like, damn, I didn't even know all this time. This was tied into this. You know what I'm saying? But I had to learn it though. That shit was hard. It wasn't easy. Like, you know what I'm saying?
How did you get to that point? Because I know for me, one of the things that really helps me develop as a rapper specifically is that I rap so much with my cousin. And so we hear each other's shit a lot. So we get to bounce off of each other like anytime a song is made that has the two of us on it. Or even if we just like bouncing back bars and shit, because we'll just send each other voice recordings and shit. But the thing that really like explained that specific phenomenon for me was like him coming back, like you said, 5 months later and being like, nigga, I ain't even pay attention to this part right here where you said blah, 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 blah. But now I see what you was doing with that shit. And it's like, yes, bro. Like, and here I go 5 months in the past. I'm probably mad because ain't nobody caught it yet. And then like 5 months in the future, it's like, oh, okay, he finally got it. It finally like set in. Like it was just sitting there like a ticking time bomb, just waiting on his ass to like for real catch it. And then like it boom in his head. He like, damn, you got the little blown mind emoji and shit. And it's like, that's what he sent to. He sent you just the little mind blown emoji and shit. It just be like, yeah, bro, that's what I was trying to do right there. Be like, bro, you got it. I just ain't picked up on that shit. But I think that comes from I think sometimes it comes from like when I'm writing, and you may have this same kind of experience. When I'm writing, I'm not just trying to impress the people who listen. I'm also trying to impress myself. And so like, that's even harder because you know everything already. So you already know all the shit that you're saying. So like you sitting there writing in a totally different sphere where you know like your whole background and everything. And so like connections that you make in your brain may not even make sense to somebody else. And so you sitting there making some dope ass shit if people understood where you was coming from sometimes. And you can't even really explain it the way that you want to explain it. They just kind of got to experience what you said for it to make sense. And you just be like, all right, it's there. If, like you said, it's in plain sight. Like it's there if you want it. As soon as you have that experience and you hear that shit at the right moment, you're going to be like, nigga, okay. Yeah. That shit crazy.
That's what helped me learn how to do it. Like, so what helped me learn how to do it was one, as far as my catalog goes, every year I make it a point to do a lot of throwaways. Not throwaways, but I give out a lot of music. So I may decide to lock in and do a project where I'm in the mood. Like I did West Coasting, where it was a project that was predominantly all West Coast feels, like type beats, because I ain't never been to Cali. That was the whole inspiration of it. Like, I ain't never been to Cali. I love the music. I love the flowers they grow out there. And so I was like, let me I was like, let me make a project that feels like Kelly to me.
Yeah.
But I'm just gonna give it away because it was other people's beats. And you know, I do a lot of projects like that. And on those projects, I was noticing that I was just doing me and putting them out there because I was giving them away. And I wasn't stressing about, are they gonna catch this? Are they gonna catch that?
Mm-hmm.
And so I started like filtering it into my official album. It's like, look, these joints are successful. Like West Coast, and I put it out there as a free project. But if you wanted to donate, you could. And it made money like a project that I was pushing for sale. And I was like, maybe I'm taking myself too seriously and wondering if people caught this or people caught that. And the second thing was the different responses you get. There's a different response when you point out a bar to somebody than when they discover it. It's like telling a child that the stove hot. They'll listen to you, but it ain't the same as them touching that motherfucker.
Right.
Like,
Yeah.
after they touch it, it's a different thing. Like, I'm 35. My iron ain't been plugged up in 2 days. I'm not going to touch the front part of it. It don't matter. I see it ain't plugged up. I've been burned by one of them bitches before. It don't matter. Like,
Exactly.
So, discovering the bars hit different. Like, when he send you that emoji with the mind blown, if you'd have pointed him out, if you'd have pointed out to him, he'd be like, oh, that's cool. But him just on his own, doing something, and he got to rewind it.
Yeah.
Oh, this fucking dope. Like, it's a completely different response. You know what I'm saying? So I felt like I didn't want to rob people of them moments no more. I didn't want to. It's like sitting next to you and telling you a movie. I don't want to do that no more. I'm going to let you watch it and pick out what you get from it. You know what I'm saying? And it's been working since I transitioned into doing it. Like, it works in my favor. So, yeah.
That's dope, man. Super dope, man. That's the album for me, man.
I got one more question, man. I got one more question, bro. Because I like how Eye Opener runs into On versus On. Like, I like how that shit drifts into each other, because it's kind of like the question that I had wrote down was like, on Eye Opener, you kind of talk about like not necessarily being acknowledged for great work. And then my question was like, okay, so what kind of acknowledgement are you looking for? And that was like when I wrote it right then, listened to the song. And then like I listened to On versus On, and it basically gives me my answer. It's like, I kind of have my own definition of success that I just like, as long as I hit my marks, then I know I'm doing what I'm supposed to be doing. That kind of thing. Yeah. And so is at this point in your career, because how long you been doing it? Since, like, when was the first project came out?
The first project came out in 2013.
Okay.
So, you know, I'm at 8 years now. The project came out the same week my daughter was born. Like, okay. And I had an album release party.
Ain't they Walk the Line the first one?
The first Walk the Line.
Yeah.
So I knew my daughter was coming, but she came a little early. So like, I had this album release party at Sensi. So I remember, and I don't want to mess this up, like my daughter was born on like a Monday, like, and then my release party was that Saturday. And we still was in the hospital. I left the hospital. I went and did the release party. I went right back to the hospital. Like, and that was a dope time for me too. Like, but yeah, 2013 was the first official release for me. Before that, I was doing like mic battles and freestyle battles. And there was a particular battle that was it was reoccurring. It was every Thursday. And I won so many times back to back that the guy was like, "Hey, we retiring you. You gotta bring some music in here. You gotta come in here with a song. We'll let you perform. You don't get the battle no more. Like, you either gonna come in here with a song, or you know, you just can come spectate or something." But you know, and he was just pushing me. He was trying to see me do that and not have nothing for people to go listen to and shit, which was what pushed me into actually going ahead and making music. So you know. Shout out to him. His name's Craig Harris. Craig Smacks Harris. He a legend down here. He's one of the first people to actually like teach people the business of music. Like, he was making people go to the studio. It's like, yeah, it's cool. You don't want some money in here, but what if I tell you can't battle no more? Then what? What if I tell you can't battle on my show no more? What you gonna do? You gonna go record some music? You've been winning money every week, so you can't lie like you can't go pay to record no music because I've been paying you out. I'm the one been paying you out every week. So that was the start of that. So from 2013 to now, that's my time frame.
Yeah. So at this point,
that's the question though. You saying from now?
The question is like at this point, what is it that you want from music? Because I know you talked a little bit later, like you just want the projects to be able to basically finance themselves. But I know for me specifically, like one of my things that I like to get out of projects when I drop them is that fucking experience of like people discovering stuff inside of the music and being like, God damn, like I wouldn't even pay no attention to this, that kind of shit. Like I just do it for that at this point because I don't really like I don't put out music very often. Not that I be slacking on no shit like that because I do put something out like every year. But like I don't record music all the time. Normally when y'all hear something from me, it's because like I had some inspiration, I wrote some shit, and I recorded it. And I probably did that shit in like a few days and put it out. And then it's like, here goes some shit for y'all, nigga. Like, here go a project. It might be 5 songs, it might be 10 songs. It's just like whatever the fuck came out is what came out. And like I've been able to rely on that shit since 2010. Just whenever you get the fucking urge, you just go start recording shit. And as long as you got the tools to do so, you just feel good about it. And so like that's what my thing is when I put out music. I just like for people to be like, damn, bro, like I like how you did this, I like how you did that kind of thing. So like what is it that keeps you coming back to doing music?
Well, I mean, I get a lot of love, man. And I get to have a lot of conversations about songs because I'm not boxed in. I ain't got no corner of what I can talk about and what I'm able to deliver or what type of sound I'm able. It ain't too many genres I got to be afraid of, even though I'm predominantly rap. But also, like, it's a lot of people that get through a lot of shit listening to me. Mm-hmm. And that's major for me. And the initial goal was for the project to pay for the project. But like with any other goal, like every time you get to the post, you move the goal post.
Yeah.
So now the goal is to transition from what I do musically and my job to finding ways to make the music alleviate the job.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I'm saying? The goal is still not, like a lot of people, like on the song On versus On, is like, your own and my own ain't the same. Like, once you start defining your own, then a lot of other shit don't matter to you. Like, you know what I'm saying? I don't care about the rapper lifestyle or whatever that is perceived to be. You know what I'm saying? Like, but if I can do what I do anyway in everyday life, if I can take care of my everyday life and that's predominantly from what I create, then I done won. It don't have to be a real high scale lifestyle. Even if I was living the lifestyle I live right now without working,
that shit.
That's what it is.
There you go, bro. I heard that shit the first time from Dave Chappelle. Actually, it was some interview or something. He was talking about. He was having a conversation with his dad, and that was basically what he had said. But my bad, I'm cutting you off.
No, because it fits right in with what I'm saying. Like, and I got a pretty decent laid back ass job, and I make decent money at it. But it still don't beat rapping. If I could rap to make that money, it still don't beat that. Like if I could get up, yawn, brush my teeth, and go record, and then later on in that week, go do me a couple shows and make what I'm making to go work for these other people, shit, I won all day. Like, you know what I'm saying? I don't care if I'm driving a motherfucking Corsica. I don't care, like, you know what I'm saying? Because I've done so much with so little. Like, like what I was saying, there's a lot of decisions I've made. Well, some of them I'm like, you should have done that. Like, I look at, I done had talks with industry people. I done had talks with labels. I done had deal negotiations, some of which I turned down. But all of them used to say, if you want to be successful as a rapper, you got to make people want to be you. they got to see you in this, and they got to see you wearing this, and they got to see you driving this. When I first started coming to Memphis, building my fan base, I was catching rides and walking and shit. Mm-hmm. But people still was singing my songs before I left. Like, it wasn't so much of what I had, it was who I was. It didn't matter. Like, it's like, and that's something that I done got really, really accustomed to. It's like, shit, it don't matter what I show up in. It don't matter what I show up wearing. You gonna feel what I'm doing, because that's what I'm here to give you. You know what I'm saying? Like, I ain't got to do no fake shit, and that's real easy on me. I ain't got to do no fake shit. I ain't got to put on no kind of show outside of me just being who I am, because I'm dope. Mm-hmm. You get away with a lot when you dope. You know what I'm saying? At least I feel like you do. You know what I'm saying? From personal experience. But yeah, so that's why I'm at with it, man. Like, I don't give a fuck about none of that extra shit. Like, it'll fall into place. Like,
you right.
Yeah,
you right.
Yeah.
That's a great place to be in, man. That's a fucking great fucking philosophy for life. I hope people is listening. If you're listening to this podcast right now, Jay DaSkreet just dropped some major fucking jewels and gems for being just a fucking happy person in life, bro. Just as simple as that.
Yeah. I don't stay mad at nothing longer than it took me to get mad.
Hey,
I don't hold on to nothing, especially nothing negative. I don't hold on to nothing. It's like, if it ain't gonna affect me later on today, then I'm not gonna be thinking about it later on today. Mm-hmm. Like, I'm gonna leave it where it's at, like wherever it happened at. Like, I feel like more people need to be like that. We worry ourselves too much. Like,
definitely.
No,
about shit that either we can't change or shit that we can. Like, a lot of people worry about shit that they could actively change. Like, you could just make that not be that anymore. But you stressed about it. Like, you know what I'm saying? I don't do that. Like, yeah. Fuck that shit.
Man, this has been a very dope moment, man, for me personally. Just because In Plain Sight is a dope album. Let's not, it's dope as shit. But I get to sit down and talk with the person that created it and get his insight on it. And on top of everything else, has gave me the blueprint of listen to it this way. This is what I dropped on it.
Yeah.
After I have my initial already listened to, okay, well, this is what we got, the director's cut. You know,
there you go.
Basically, that's it. The director's cut.
Y'all got the DVD commentary.
That's it right there. So, man, once again, man, I appreciate you jumping on the podcast with us and going through the In Plain Sight album. For you guys that's listening, if you haven't heard it already, it's streaming. I listen to it on Tidal. It's streaming on the platforms. Can they still buy it if need be?
You can still buy it. You can buy In Plain Sight on Bandcamp, or you can buy it in the Google store. I'm actually dealing with some stuff on Apple right now, so it's not really available on Apple. That's another thing too. Like, this year, between last year and this year, has been my biggest year for streams, and so a lot of the streaming sites cracked down on people because a lot of people was doing like bought streams and stream farms and shit. Yeah. So when In Plain Sight dropped, the day it dropped, they flagged it because all these other songs I had was like, they spiked because I guess a bunch of people just had ran up on me or something. I don't know. Maybe people had started finding me. And so I had all these influx of streams. So they shut In Plain Sight down for a whole month of January and most of February, like where you couldn't stream it because they was investigating me for fake streams. So, and I just recently got it back reinstated as far as Spotify and a couple of other sites. Apple is a little slower though. So right now, you won't be able to do In Plain Sight on Apple. Maybe for the next couple weeks or so. I'm still waiting on them to reinstate it. But yeah, shout out to all the people that streamed me and gave me real streams so they couldn't block my shit. They had to put my shit back. You know what I'm saying? A lot of people's stuff didn't get put back. There's people out there that had 30,000, 40,000 streams on one song and they deleted this shit because it was fake. So,
wow.
Damn.
Wow.
Yeah.
It means something when you get those
man.
real streams, man.
It does.
Man,
It means something,
I
man.
was waiting for them to put my shit back. Like, I was like, all right, well, I ain't got that many. So, one, y'all should know that these just ain't fake. Because if I was going to fake it, I'd fake it a couple 100,000 or something. I was going to do it.
For sure.
I'm not going to fake 10,000 streams. Like, what's the point of doing that shit? Like,
Right.
But, yeah.
No, man.
But everywhere. And it's on YouTube. You can go play it on. The whole album is on YouTube.
Yeah.
That's what's up, man. Once again, thank you for listening to another episode of the Speaker Geekers podcast. If you haven't already, please go subscribe to the YouTube channel at Speaker Geekers Podcast. You also can follow us on Instagram and Facebook at Speaker Geekers Podcast. You can follow me on Instagram at I am Tommy T the Third. You got Greg at instantly_G, and you got Steve at the Great Steve-O Steve. Jay DaSkreet, I want to say thank you for joining us and talking us through In Plain Sight. Out now. Where can we find you? Give us your tags and everything else where we can follow you at and everything like that. Okay,
well, I'm easy. It's Jay DaSkreet pretty much everywhere. Instagram is at DaSkreet, DaSkreet, all one word, DaSkreet. Twitter is at N DaSkreet, N_DaSkreet, as in I'm out here in the streets. And if you're gonna be out and about, when is this air? This airs
on the 13th, April 13th.
Okay, so yeah, April 17th, DOA. I'm one of the headliners for DOA on April the 17th. So if you're watching this, you probably want to get you a ticket as soon as you see this. We might be sold out by then, but ain't no telling. But it's gonna be a dope experience. It's myself, Twan E. 20. I'm sorry, I don't want to say his name wrong. St. Course is on there, and I'm missing somebody. I'm gonna feel bad about missing them too, baby. But yeah, DOA, come out, come support. I'm doing a couple of joints off of In Plain Sight, and I'm doing a brand new exclusive too that ain't out yet. So y'all probably want to be there for that.
That's what's up, man. That's what's up. Well, Greg, do you have anything else?
No, typically I don't have shit else to say by this time in the recording, bro. Typically by now I'm all talked out. Yeah. But the only thing I got to say is pretty soon, nigga, we gonna have to work on some shit. We have to work on some get some shit going. I'm gonna have to send you some stuff. What I do is once I get another one of them little inspirational moments and shit, I put some shit together. See, I do that.
Yeah, we overdue. I think we only got one so far.
Yeah, bro, we ain't got but what's that one called? Who Am I? That was a while ago.
That was a fun one though.
That shit was good. That shit is good, bro. That's a good song. I fuck with that joint still to this day. But we overdue, bro. I'm gonna send you some more shit. I might even send you a couple just cause.
Do it. Yeah.
All right, man. Well, that's it, man. Once again, thank you, and I'm out. Peace.
Peace out.